Good morning. I'm Bill Derry. I'm president of Pilchuck Audubon, and we're here at the Edmonds Marsh this morning with Hannah Toutonghi, who is under contract to Pilchuck Audubon to do bird surveys. Um, so, Hannah, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So, my background is I went to the University of Washington for my undergrad, go dogs, and was on a little bit of a different career path. But then my senior year, realized you could study birds. So, I did quite a few field jobs after graduating from UW. I spent a lot of time in the Great Lakes region and then back here in Washington doing backcountry point counts, northern Minnesota point counts, and then I kind of fell in love with raptors and migration. And so I did my master's work at the University of Minnesota studying northern hawk owls. I could talk on and on about hawk owls, but I won't do that today. And then I moved back 2 years ago. I got a role as a data scientist at the Ocean Research College Academy. So I kind of switched ecosystems and started studying more kind of marine science and looking at marine birds, seabirds, and then got approached to do the Edmonds Marsh twice a month bird surveys to look at microhabitat and kind of seeing how bird behavior is influenced by what habitats they're in. And this is my second year doing that, and it's been a blast.
So, what's the favorite thing? What's your favorite thing that's happened during these surveys?
My favorite thing that's happened. So I would say probably at the Willow Creek marsh area. So basically, we have the Edmonds Marsh here along the boardwalk, but it extends past over towards Willow Creek and the hatchery over there. I was slogging through the mud one day, knee deep, and just kind of making my way to my next point. And I look over, and there's a snipe just like staring right at me, and it's kind of frozen and I'm frozen, and we just have this moment together, and it ends up flying off. But it was just such a cool experience, and I hadn't actually seen a Wilson snipe there previously, so that was probably one of the most memorable.
Was he bobbing up and down, or do they tap their feet? Or...
They will bob up and down, but we were both pretty frozen, so we were kind of shocked that each other were in that area.
And
But I do love that.
and your favorite animal, was that it?
My favorite animal. So favorite bird in the marsh, or
Both.
okay. So favorite bird in the marsh, I would probably say, oh, that's a tough one. I saw some male wood ducks just last year, and I'd never seen them here before, and they are just such a stunning duck. So that was a pretty great experience. I've seen green herons. They're beautiful, and then I've also seen a couple unusual birds. So a Baird sandpiper, white-throated sparrow, and saw a swamp sparrow here. So yeah, just some really interesting birds that show up here. But I would say probably my favorite that I look forward to every time is the marsh wren. They're just so emphatic and let you know that their presence is there just by their song. So that's probably my favorite bird in the marsh. And then overall, the common loon was sort of a bird that got me started birding when I was young.
So, what's the most birds you've seen in a single day at the marsh?
The most individual birds in a single day, I don't have the exact number, but I would say over 400 to 500. And that would probably be like end of April, early May. Tends to be a really, there's lots of migrants, lots of breeding birds, lots of ducks that breed here, in particular mallards. So mallards on a day like that would make up like 150 of those individuals.
And how many species have you observed in the marsh?
So in the marsh itself, and this was from my totals last year, so there's probably a few additions. I think I'm over 100 species for the whole year. And then in a single day, again, that kind of like late April, early May, or in the fall can be a really good time for numbers of species. I would say anywhere from like 45 to 50 species in a day, and that's counting both this marsh area and then the Willow Creek site as well.
And do you know how many species have been observed in the marsh by others, like total?
Yeah, and it's somewhere in the like 159, 160 range, I think. I would look up eBird for that, for all time, number of species that have been documented here. I could be wrong.
And then we have intertidal area here, freshwater marsh, and some surrounding forest. Any idea the ratio between water birds and upland birds?
Yeah, I'd say species wise, there's way more songbirds, upland birds than there are kind of, wading birds that are here. Then in terms of like counts and individual numbers, it can probably be pretty even. And then sometimes the water birds definitely outweigh the songbirds, especially during the winter.
So right now we're standing on the north edge of the marsh. How many birds are you hearing?
Let's see, we got red-winged blackbird, Canada goose, Anna's hummingbird, dark-eyed junco.
Marsh wren?
Let's see, marsh wren, just called, white-crowned sparrow, spotted towhee. We've got like 8 or 9 species that we're hearing right now.
She's amazing.
I will say I have tested out, holding Merlin and then, doing my own counts, obviously. And Merlin misses so many. And in particularly, it misses the counts, right? Because sometimes you're hearing birds or seeing birds and there's multiples of the same individual. Merlin can't account for that. So if they're doing a different behavior, if they're in a different microhabitat, there's no way for that to be tracked so far.